1975 wasn't subtle. The giants were huge. Stadium tours were bigger. Radio was polished. The production sounded expensive. But underneath all that polish were songs that exploded onto the charts and then disappeared almost as fast as they arrived. And here's the thing about 1975. These weren't novelty songs. These were real hits, number ones, gold records, songs that felt like they were going to stick around forever. And then the artist never quite made it back to that level again. So tonight, we're digging into the one-hit wonders of 1975 you forgot existed, until right now. Let's start with a song that still sounds like pure joy. Love Will Keep Us Together, Captain Tennille. It dominated 1975. It was upbeat, optimistic, and perfectly timed for radio. It climbed to number one and stayed there. Now technically, Captain Tennille had other charting songs, but this was the moment, the peak, the one that defined them. The harmony was tight, the production was bright. It felt like summer bottled up and sent through the speakers. And after that wave crested, nothing ever hit quite the same. Next up, something that felt a little rebellious, a little hypnotic. Black Superman, Muhammad Ali, Johnny Wakelin. This was bold. A tribute song about a living sports icon climbing the charts? That wasn't typical, but it worked. It leaned into rhythm. It leaned into repetition. It leaned into confidence. And it went global. But lightning didn't strike twice for Wakelin. That moment belonged to that song, and that song alone. Now let's talk about a track that felt strange and somehow irresistible. Magic, Pilot. You know the hook instantly. Bright guitars, clean harmonies, an opening that feels like it's about to lift off. Pilot captured something pure in 1975. It felt effortless, radio-ready, optimistic. It climbed high on the charts. But sustaining that kind of melodic perfection is hard. The industry shifts, and audiences move, and sometimes the song outlives the band. Next, a song that defined smooth mid-70s cool. How Long, Ace. This one had groove. It had that laid-back swagger that defined so much of 1975 radio. It felt like a late-night drive. Ace had musicianship. They had polish. They had a hit. But after How Long, nothing ever broke through like that again. And yet, play the opening bars now, and people don't hesitate. They know it immediately. That's staying power, even if the charts don't repeat. Now let's shift into something that felt emotional and cinematic. Before the Next Teardrop Falls, Freddie Fender. This song didn't shout. It didn't push. It just existed with sincerity. It blended English and Spanish. It leaned into heartbreak without melodrama, and it hit number one. Freddie Fender had a long musical journey before this moment, but in 1975, this was the breakthrough. And while he would continue working, this was the cultural peak. Sometimes one hit doesn't define an entire career. It defines a moment in time. Now let's bring in something playful. Chevy Van, Sammy Johns. This song felt like a story told in the passenger seat of a road trip. It was loose, casual, slightly mischievous. It climbed the charts and suddenly felt like it was everywhere. But that easygoing charm is hard to recreate without repeating yourself. And so the moment passed, but the vibe still intact. Now here's one people forget was that big. Ush Run Joey Run, David Geddes. If you want pure mid-70s drama, this is it. It's theatrical, it's intense. It tells a story in full, almost like a short film set to music, and audiences loved it. It hit the top 10. But dramatic narrative pop didn't always guarantee longevity. The song became the memory. The artist faded from the spotlight. Next, something completely different. Please, Mr. Please, Olivia Newton-John. Yes, she became a superstar later, but in 1975, in this song was a transitional moment, a soft, pleading ballad that climbed high on the charts. It felt intimate, vulnerable, radio perfect. And while Olivia Newton-John is not a one-hit wonder overall, this particular 1975 moment stands alone in tone. It marked a shift. Now let's talk about a groove that felt infectious. Get Down Tonight, KC and the Sunshine Band. Disco was rising. This song didn't ask for permission. It hit the floor running. KC and the Sunshine Band would have other hits. But this was the breakthrough, the one that kicked the door open. It defined a direction that would explode over the next few years. And sometimes the first hit is the one that defines the entire identity. Finally, let's close with a song that felt mysterious and moody. Fire, the Ohio Players. It was funk. It was atmosphere. It was controlled intensity. It climbed the charts and became one of the defining funk tracks of the year. And while the Ohio Players had other successes, In This Moment stood tallest. So what does 1975 teach us? That radio was powerful, that one song could change everything overnight, and that sometimes the song becomes bigger than the career. One-hit wonders aren't footnotes, they're snapshots. They tell us what the culture felt like in that exact moment. So which 1975 track hit you the hardest? Drop it in the comments. And if there's a 1975 one-hit wonder we missed, make your case. Because the deeper we go into the 70s, the more forgotten lightning we find. Keep that turntable spinning.